Hello everybody and welcome to another great episode of Distilled, Brewed, and Reviewed. My name is John. I'm in my world famous sipping den and I do everything that has anything to do with alcohol. I also have a world famous Sunday morning coffee review. And since I do so many things, so many categories, I've made it very easy for everybody. I have a beautiful, most up-to-date, organized, categorized playlists on YouTube, and I challenge every single one of you to check it out. I make finding everything so easy. I pin every comment, the first comment, because I always have a link to the playlist to what I am reviewing, in this case, bourbon. Remember, I do all those things because I can, and I'm the only one in the world that can do it. And I do it with half my taste buds tied behind my back, and that's a fact. You are home, okay? Since I do everything that has anything to do with alcohol and everything has anything to do with coffee, you don't need to go anywhere else now, do you? No, you don't. You found your home. You're at the World Mall right here. So, give me a sub and let's get started. This is very interesting and very exciting. I have 3 whiskeys here. Tell you the story as best as I know it. Rare Character is the quote-unquote company that put this out. Let me explain. I was at work and I started talking to a couple gentlemen, and we talked about my YouTube channel came up. They mentioned that they made whiskeys. We started talking. He said, "You got a YouTube channel." Went to the car and brought in these 3 whiskeys for me to try. Right? He was telling me about them, and I didn't really. There was so much information I didn't really get it, so I did some digging, so I can review them. And I'm going to do them on 3 separate occasions. Right? 3 beautiful reviews. I'm very excited about these. And if you read the back, it says Rare Character Whiskey Company was born out of Pablo Moix' love for collecting rare and distinctive whiskeys. After 2 decades of purchasing single barrels for his own bars and restaurants, he has developed a unique insight into the industry and has forged special relationships with top distillers and distilleries. They hunt, they have, I'm sorry, my eyes are old. They have they have offered him one-of-a-kind access to their private warehouses, and for this series, Moix has found and procured barrels unlike anything else out there. This limited release showcases the time-honored traditions of American whiskey making back when products were still produced the old-fashioned way. Rare Character Whiskey is for connoisseurs who should pick only the most memorable occasions to sip these fine whiskeys that have never been released before and will never be released again. Now, here's what he told me. Well, first, who is this Mr. Moix? Apparently, he started out in the restaurant business as a bartender and doing every bit of the restaurant work. Worked his way up, became kind of a famous bartender. Was known for making drinks and stuff like that. Ended up buying his own bars/restaurants, and the whole time he's doing this, he's messing with these cocktails, and he's building up a heck of a palate. So he got into picking these whiskeys, and now because he's kind of well known and has these basically semi-famous or famous restaurants and bars and drinks that he's come up with, he's forged these relationships with these distilleries, and they give him access to barrels. Now, this reminds me of like Kentucky Owl and some others that find odd barrels that have been hidden and lost and make their Kentucky Owls. However, this is a single, and I think he does that blending. I'm not sure. This is part of his single barrel series, and he gives me the 3. And the first one that we're going to do, and also the man who's with him, I think, is the one who does the labels. And if I'm not mistaken, and here's what he told me. This one, for example, is for Liquor Barn. Name's right here. It's a Kentucky-owned chain of 12 liquor stores, big, sell a lot of different stuff. I mean, like gifts, and sometimes they'll have meats and cheeses and chocolates, and of course their whiskeys, wines, and everything else. Big store has everything, just like the show right here, just like this channel. And he did this for them. He did this pick for them, for this Kentucky stores. And he said, instead of being the emphasis on the name, Liquor Barn, the emphasis is on the picture that they have here. Okay, each has unique pictures. And the guy who's with him is, I think, one of his partners, and he's an artist. And I think he's well known. I don't remember his name off the top of my head. But they wanted more of the picture and less of what it has to do, you know, this unique picture. So I'm excited. They all have the wax. They all have these cool, the way it's dipped, kind of cuts up here, all of them, and then goes, you know, long here. It's a unique kind of style. I think the pictures, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, those are pretty cool. That's all I know about that. Now this one here says distilled 12/2016. Bottled 1 of 2022, in other words, January. Mash bill, okay, 60 corn, 36 rye, and 4% malted barley, so it is obviously a high rye bourbon. Distilled in Indiana, aged in Tennessee. So, okay, probably MGP in Indiana, and then sent to Tennessee. Jack Daniels, Dickel, who knows who, there's some other ones down there. And it was aged. Rare Character Presents, and it has LB there for Liquor Barn. Selected by Liquor Barn, locally yours after 30 years. Okay, it's Liquor Barn. It has barrel number, IRT 38, proof 118.26. 5 years, 1 month old. Of course, alcohol by volume 59.13. Straight bourbon whiskey, rare release. Why don't you take a nice look at that? Because it's quite beautiful. I pre-did the top so I can get it open. I mean, these things are sealed up. And I like this one's purple. This one's green. Of course, this one's red. So let's get into it. Let's see how this man's palate is at picking out these barrels. Like I say, he is well known, Mr. Moix. So very generous. And you know what he said? Make sure you tell the truth about this. I'm giving them to you, but you say it how it is. Of course, in this channel, that's what I do, and I appreciate him knowing that that's what's going to happen and insisting on it. All right, nice tight little cork there. All right. This can probably use to breathe a second, only because it's in this bottle with a tight cork. No big deal there, but the very tight seal of the wax. So, once again, thank you for these samples, my friend. All right, just show you the beautiful copper, shiny copper, orange hint color. So when I say 36%, 18's about an average. This is 30, double. Okay, 70s for the corn generally. This is 60. 10% rye. This is 4. So the corn gives it that sweetness and that corn taste, of course. The barrel gives it sweetness too, because when you char it sweats out the vanillas and the sugars, and then it kind of caramelizes them with the heat. You know, the sap and all sweet. Well, now what rye will give you is the peppery, generally, baking spices, right? Nutmeg, allspice, cinnamon type thing, and then the 4%, so it's low, will give you malted barley, a nuttiness. Sometimes chocolate is what you can get from that. So let's see what we pick out of this. Now remember, the barrels impart a lot, right? And this is in Tennessee. They have very warm summers, right? They can get cold in the winter, not real cold, but they can get cold. So it's going in and out of the barrel. Let's see what we got. Does have a nice baking spice, cinnamon, nutmeg, brown sugar mixed in. Like if you made basically cinnamon brown sugar, you know, you put it on toast. Well, I used to do when I was a kid. You'd butter some toast and make sprinkle some cinnamon, sprinkle some sugar on it. That's what it's reminding me of. Nice. You could pick out the twinges of the barrel. I'm getting a slight smokiness. Now this will change as it opens up, and very nice. It's very nice, pleasing. There's a back layer of fruit, dried fruit. I don't want to try and pick out the fruits, but just you can get a fruity, kind of a fruity note that goes along with that sweetness, that fruit. Not high fruit, like a dried fruit. But, can't wait to try it. All right, cheers. All right, that's my acclamation sip. Never judge anything on the first sip. No. All right. Now the next one, we'll start doing it. It smells so good. It's serious. Alright, it's hot. And that high proof, which is nowhere near the highest I've ever had, but it's up there. What did I say it was? 118.26, yeah. But the high rye, being it has that peppery type, and it does have a bit of a peppery taste to it. It has heat from the alcohol, heat from a peppery, like a black pepper, fresh, and that's hotter than you think black pepper is if you've never had it. It does have that initial sweetness. Very sweet at first, real sweet. Again, the brown sugar, the cinnamon. I can see where some might say nutmeg, something like that, with the sugar right there. Then it gets into the black pepper, a little bit of the heat to it. And even a bit of that dried fruit. I like the sweetness because it's not cloyingly sweet. It's not like what I'm saying, a ton of brown sugar and maple syrup, which isn't bourbon, pretty much the usual suspect in there. This has a sweetness when you first do it, but it's like a sweetness mixed 50-50 with the cinnamon to me. / nutmeg, more cinnamon. So it's like the sugar and the cinnamon at the same time, kind of giving equal weight to each other. Followed by some black pepper, some dry fruit lingering. I want to say like apricots, dates, something like that. Those type of things. Where they'll have sweetness too and a little fruitiness to it. A little bit of the tannin from the wood. A little bit of flavor from the wood. I'm used to that. It's in all bourbons, and it kind of gets overlooked because you just expect it. But if you're doing it from the viewpoint of somebody who's not had it maybe before or whatever, because it's not overwhelming to me. I barely taste it because it's just mixed in. It's just in just about every one. It has to go in a brand new oak charred barrel. So, but it's there. But it's not overwhelming. It's just part of the flavor. It is nice. I want to leave a little I'll show you how good it is, actually, and put a little water in. So now look what I got to do. I got to pour a little more. Forgot to put the water in. I got carried away. See what the water does. Put a little in, put a splash. Tiny thing's tight. All right. Man did a good job with this one, I'll say that. Some of these other ones, or these other two. This is for Liquor Barn. I told you they own, what I say, 12, I think about 14, 15 stores. 15 stores in Kentucky owned. And then some interesting clubs and people that these next ones are picked for. We'll get into that when I review them. So let's put a drop of water in here. Alright. So I put a little water in there. Part your lips a little bit when you smell it. Not only gives alcohol an escape route and won't burn your nose, but it helps with the whole smelling process. Toned down the, kind of blended everything together. Instead of getting that unique, immediate sweet with the cinnamon, which I was getting before, I feel like it's brought out more of the fruit forward this time now. Dried fruit. And I feel like people would I'm getting like apricot, I want to say, but I think apricot, dates, raisin type thing is what a lot of people, I feel, would pick out of this. You know, you want to say one fruit, everybody's a little different, but that would all be in the same ballpark as far as it's dry fruit. I could see where someone might say, and I think I am picking up actually some cherry now. You can smell the influence of the wood and the char. Let's see what it tastes like now with the water. Definitely toned down the heat. Brought out a little bit more of the pepper. Toned down the sweetness. Still got sweet cinnamon, but just not as much. The fruit's, more up front now. The wood, the char, still sweet cinnamon, but not as much. And an odd, and I like it. Lemon slash orange slash lime. Originally I thought lemon, and then I got a little bit of orange, and I can see where someone might say lime. And I don't mean like it's strong. I mean, it's there, it's underlying. This is all things that I'm kind of coming to me as it's, as I'm sipping it and so on, and swallowing it. And as I'm now tasting the finish, and there is a sweetness in the finish now. And that fruitiness, that citrus is odd. Anyway, I've been going on and on. This is very good. I can't wait to get into these. One of them's a rye. Looks like one of them's 75% corn, 21% rye, 4% malted barley. This will be a lot different. And then we have the 95.5 rye. So we'll get into them. All cask strength. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to sub. I'll see you on the next one. And Mr. Moix, Pablo, thank you, my friend. It was delicious. Appreciate it. I guess Pablo Moix, rare character. Google it, look it up, read about it. If you want to get in contact with him, if you have a group, if you have a store, if you want to make a special bottling by him, pick out the beautiful label, put the beautiful wax on it, take care of you. See you all on the next one.